Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the More Money Show comes in. If you're ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this episode. I am your host, Cassie Parks. Happy New Year. I am so excited that you're here and just want to do a little New Year's special that's just me. So I haven't done a show that wasn't reading in a while that's just me, and so I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the new year. I'm excited about all the possibilities that are coming. This morning, a friend of mine helped me rip out all of the shelves in my office. And there's like this built-in from the 1970s man cave-ish shelving, which I'm sure was amazing in the 1970s. However, I want a little more modern look for my office and a little more modern feel. And so we started just getting the shelves out and then getting part of this there was also a bench on it, but not really a bench, but it was taking up 2-3 feet of space in the room. That might be an exaggeration, probably 2 feet, but I just wanted this space, and so we did that this morning, and it feels really good and open, and I'm excited about that. And I think that project is a good metaphor, right? So we were just going to tear out one wall. It's kind of like an L. It went on a wall, and then it went under this huge window that's in my office. And we were just going to attack the wall part because I was like, I kind of want the bench until I'm ready to replace whatever, because I'm going to build out sort of a bigger bench, and I have a whole design that I want to do for that. And I didn't really want to pull the bench out until I was ready to do that design. Well, one thing was connected to the other. So when we took out the wall piece, in order to get the wall piece fully out, we had to take the bench out, part of it, and then we had pulled it all out because it would look silly, half there. So I think that's a really good metaphor for growth. And it's what happens in growth is sometimes we start changing and growing, and we pull at these threads that we don't want to be there anymore, and they start to unravel these other things that we didn't know were connected, and we didn't know we'd have to deal with, heal, get rid of, write a new story. We just didn't know we'd have to look at even sometimes. And so it's important as you grow to remember that does happen. Everything is connected, and often as you grow, something else comes up. And I think most people think when that something else comes up, right, that it's something wrong. It's not something wrong. It's just that those threads were tied together, just like this bookshelf and the window seat. It was all tied together. You just couldn't see it because it was covered by this very beautiful red tile tile-looking laminate thing. Was covering all the connections. Yes, I'm being sarcastic. Again, I think this thing was beautiful in its time, and it just is no longer its time. And when we pulled it, it's really funny because the carpet doesn't match, because when they replaced the carpet, I don't know when they replaced the carpet in this room, but they didn't take the bookshelf out, right? So the 1970s orange carpet is now, making like a little border around the other carpet. So all of these things that you don't know you're going to find when you start growing. And I think the one thing that's most important is to not be afraid of those, but to look at those as opportunities. Like, okay, cool, I wanted to get new flooring anyway. We're just going to speed that process up because I don't necessarily want to look at the orange border, right? But it's all these things that are connected, and it's all these things that we want to do, right? And this is me when it comes to home improvement. I generally just want to do like one thing. And it really is better if you do it all at once, right? So now my friend was saying, okay, well now we'll just do the whole room at once, right? We'll take this, we'll do this a couple weekends, and we'll do it all. And it's not better or worse, I guess, but it's going to be more beautiful faster. Like putting in the time and energy to really redo this whole room instead of just the one wall that I wanted to do, which was take that bookshelf, take that seat, or I don't even know what it was, little storage compartment on the bottom off, and just, put up some of this cool foam brick that I used in my bedroom. I just wanted to do that and call it done. And the room didn't want that. Obviously, the room wants to be redone because all of these things were connected. And when you grow, that's how it works. You just want to fix. This happens all the time, right? People come to me because they want more money. They want to fix their money mindset. They want to fix their relationship with money. They want to attract more money. And it's like, if we just fix that one part, like, I don't need to worry about the rest. And what happens is that one part bleeds into everything else. And it happens all the time. For me, money is just where you start. And fixing your money actually fixes everything, because everything is connected, just like, the bookshelf and the window seat. So as you go into the new year, I want you to remember that when you set one intention, I want to talk a little bit about intentions versus goals in a second, but when you set one intention and you grow, or you heal that part, or you step into that part, or you attract that into your life, there are other things that come with that. And really, to see those as exciting opportunities to make a more beautiful life, just like I'm going to make a more beautiful room quicker and faster than something that's getting in your way. Because so often I hear, it's like, I started working on this and then it looks like something breaks, and it's not broken. It might be broken, and you might just be seeing it. Actually, it might be broken. And it's not that it broke right now. It's that when you fix one part, when you heal one part, when you grow one part of your life, you can then see all the other parts that are broken. And they didn't just break, they've been broken, but you see them differently once you take one step. So if I could give any advice for 2019, I think that's what it would be. I know that's what it would be. It would be to understand and to relish and to invite all of the things that are connected to whatever is that most important thing that you want to change, grow, attract into your life. And to just really surrender right now at the beginning of the year to all the shifts and all the changes, and really welcome all that comes with. So if you set a big intention, for 2019, welcome all of the dominoes that come with that, right? Everything that falls after to be put back up. Welcome that now, instead of setting that one big intention and starting to move into that person, the beingness, and attract that, and then get it, and then resist all the other stuff that comes from it. Just make the decision that you're going to welcome that. If you haven't decided what 2019 is going to be about, make it about welcoming all the growth, all the shifts, all the feelings, all the changes, because that's going to make it so much easier. If you surrender up front and you go, okay, I'm willing to take whatever this is, it's a lot easier to move forward through it, because you're not resisting it. You're not wishing it to be different. You're not wondering, should I change that thing to get this thing? So welcome all of it in 2019, as I am. I'm so excited about 2019. And that's, I'm excited about 2019 because 2018 was awesome. And that doesn't mean it didn't have its bumps, because it definitely had its bumps. It was one of the most challenging years personally for me, but it was also one of the most magic years. And partly probably because I know that magic, when we grow, we become a different thing. All these other things start to shift and change, even if they're good. Right? I've been working on my life for a while. It's pretty freaking amazing. And when it gets more amazing, there's more opportunity to shed, to grow, to change, to become every single time. And it's awesome. It's so great. And it's just wonderful. So, if you haven't yet, I want you just to take this next couple minutes and celebrate everything that was awesome in 2018, because there was awesome things. People often categorize years, and they'll say, oh, it was bad. I can't wait for this year to get over because 2018 was bad, whatever. And maybe that's not you. Maybe it was just okay. Whatever it was, we're going to celebrate what it was. But right now I'm speaking to those people who want to go, well, there was nothing good. I don't have anything to celebrate about 2018. You have stuff to celebrate. So this will happen in the Enchanted Circle when somebody's a little bit new and still learning the ropes. So when we come to the call, I always ask either what abundance has showed up if you're in the money attraction part of building your future self, or if you've taken a future self workshop, I ask, how has your future self shown up? And so I'll say, how has abundance showed up? And it happens probably 1 out of every 3 people at some point when they're new. They'll start down this path and they'll go, oh, this week was really rough, da da da. And I stop them and I say, no, I will come back to you after I go through everybody else. I'm going to ask you again, how did abundance show up for you? And I do that because we create the story that we tell. So we start by telling the story that the week was awful, that the year was awful, that there's nothing to celebrate. That's the story that stays true. And it doesn't magically change because the year goes from 18 to 19 or 19 to 20 or whatever. It stays the same as long as you tell that story. And so I come back around and I ask them, and they find something of abundance, a way abundance showed up in their life, and they share that, and it changes the whole conversation. Because we might still work with and we'll come back to whatever didn't feel awesome and we'll work through that. But when we start that by acknowledging that there is awesome stuff, there's something to celebrate, there's something there, something good happened, it's a whole different conversation, because that's the energy that leads the conversation and leads the solution to the problem, right? So if there's a problem, even the best way to go through that problem is to start with, what are you celebrating? What are you excited about? What's awesome? What was great about what is great? There's always something. There's always something. I've never had someone who couldn't come up with something. And you're no different. So when you look back at 2018, if you're already celebrating, awesome. And if you're not, take this time to find the things that you want to celebrate, even if it's one or two, and celebrate them so that you go into 2019 in celebration mode, and then you create more to celebrate, right? So I'm celebrating a lot of stuff. I'm celebrating my new home. I love this home. I'm excited about the seasons changing and building the outdoor space, setting that up because it has a huge, it's as big as a living room, rooftop terrace. I'm excited about that, super excited. I like where it is. I like that there's a path right behind it. I love the energy of it. It's fun. I said this, I think I said it on the Manifest It Now podcast, but it's everything I wanted that I didn't even specifically ask for, but things that were in my scripts, so I wanted to be able to have people over and lots of kids and parties. And 2 weekends ago, we shifted it into a huge party and it just transformed beautifully into this big space for a lot of people to celebrate Christmas, and kids to decorate cookies, and Santa to come, and all these things. And as I'm putting it back together and going, oh man, I love how this worked out, I realized I didn't specifically ask for that, but I've always scripted those events in my life. So my home can't help but become that thing, which is really cool. So I'm excited about my home. I'm excited about creating my new office. I'm excited about my business. There's so many amazing people in the Enchanted Circle. I attract the best clients, seriously, hands down. It's always true. They're amazing. They're supportive of each other. They're growing like crazy. It's so awesome. And they're welcoming all of this amazing stuff into their lives, which includes money and relationships and time and new ways of being and thinking, and these opportunities that they didn't even see coming, and these glimpses of themselves that they haven't been able to see or think about in a while. And it's so much fun. So much fun. So I'm so excited about that because I have worked less this year than any other year. And that's what I went into 2018 doing, was really, and the goal wasn't actually to work less. The goal was to work consciously, actually be working when I was working, and really be conscious of, am I doing something because I'm trying to do more action? And you might have thought well, shouldn't she have mastered that already? I master it every year on a new level, right? So when I first left my job, I had to learn I didn't have to work the same hours. And I didn't have to work more than 40 hours. There's a point I caught myself for a short amount of time where I think I was working more than 40 hours. And working is loose, especially when you're an entrepreneur, because sometimes we can convince ourselves that we're working, but they're not. That's not really what we're doing. And so just letting go every year and really being more conscious of, is this where I want to put my energy? Is this moving my business forward, or is this creating something that doesn't serve me or is actually taking away from that? And I've really done that to a whole new level this year. And so I've had more time and energy and freedom for other things and to grow in other ways, which has been amazing. And to do, like take my goddaughter to actually pick her up from school and, take them to do different things, take them to dance and take them to get their nails done and things like that, that I wasn't, and pick my nephew up from school and take him to play, which means walking away from my computer at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. When you don't start work till 10, you're definitely, not working 8 hours a day, which is awesome. And that has just been what I wanted, as well as to grow my business at the same time I was doing that. And I am. And I also can see how I'm able to even serve my clients on a deeper level because I've made that commitment, I've made that shift. So I'm really celebrating that. I'm celebrating where my business is, how my business has crossed my, my corporate income plus bonuses. I always I thought it would be cool. And I know it's growing and it's going to keep growing. And even though I know that, and I know where it's going, it's so fun to hit those milestones where you're like, oh yeah, that's awesome. And that's awesome. And I've learned to do it. It's just always learning, how to grow it easier and quicker and let go of a little more how, right? Because even I will catch myself and I'll go, oh man, that's the how. I got to stop doing that, right? And you just learn it on a different level, right? When I started and I would catch myself on that, it was totally different than what I'm doing now. Now it's super subtle. And I really have to step back and go, okay, is this what you want to do? Or is this you trying to control the how? Can you let go a little bit more and welcome in a little bit more just by being? And the answer is usually always yes. So I've been working on that, working through that, and celebrating everything about how amazing my business is, which is I'm also excited about what's happening in 2019 on this show. So 2019, most of 2018, I have been recording the journey of some very brave, some very courageous and amazing Enchanted Circle members. And so they've been recording their journey and they all started at different places. This is what I love, is that you're in 2019, you're gonna hear their stories back to back. So we recorded, I think I started recording this February or March of last year. I put the opportunity out there. And I've been interviewing my clients forever, and you've been hearing from Jean and Michelle, and you'll actually you might hear one more time from Michelle before, as we close out her sort of 2018 series. And then with Jean and Michelle, we're going to do 2019. We're going to record it. And those are going to come out probably at the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020. So you're going to get to hear back to back, week to week, how they grow. And it's about 6 weeks, depending on the person and depending on what awesome stuff is happening. But it's generally a month to 6 weeks between each interview. So you're going to get to hear, this is when you're going to hear from Kate first, which I'm so excited about. Kate is amazing. She is a health and wellness coach. If you want a health and wellness coach that is into the law of attraction, you can go to Kate, the number 8, the number 4, and then wellness.com and check her out, preview her. She is so amazing. So you're going to get to hear when she started the Enchanted Circle. And Kate really, she read my books and she was doing it all on her own and realized she needed more support. And so Kate joined the Enchanted Circle, and the last 9 months have been incredible. And you're going to get to hear her journey over those last 9 months, over the next, you'll either hear from her next week or starting the week after. And you're going to get to hear 6 interviews of her back to back, and then you get to hear her interview me. So ask maybe those behind the scenes questions that you've always wanted to ask. Everybody who did this series, I've given them the opportunity to interview me so that they can ask those things they want to ask. They can ask, why did you coach me this way? Why did you do that? What do you think about this? What do you do? So hopefully they have the same questions that you have in your head and you get to hear those. But you're going to hear from Kate for 7 weeks in a row, 7 or 8. And you're going to get to hear her journey over the last 9 months in the Enchanted Circle, which is going to be incredible because she shifted so much. And about halfway in, maybe a third of the way in, she also started doing just one monthly one-on-one coaching call a month. And so you're also going to hear how that impacted her, how having even a little bit extra support impacted her, and just see how her business has grown. I'm so excited because you're just going to get to see her from the beginning. You're going to get to see there was a pretty big bump in the middle, and you're going to get to see her come out of that bump and get to know how amazing she is, and just how awesome things are right now. And then you're going to hear from Vicky, who's an actor, and she's she let go of her full-time job and has really taken on trust, and she's had to really flex that trust muscle a lot as she's worked through her old stories. And you're going to get to hear how we've worked through those stories and who she is now and how she's stepping into being a full-time actor and trusting the process and how she got to know her future self. And Vicky actually did Manifest 10K twice because that's what felt good and that's what fit in, because sometimes you need to go back through that a second time to really rewrite and get that foundation of that money story right. So, if you're thinking about working with me, just so you know, you can't do the Future Self Workshop, any Future Self Workshop with me until you have completed Manifest 10K. And that's because you need that foundation. You need that money mindset, because your future self has that. Your future self is good with money. She attracts money. Money is easy. Like, she has an amazing money story. And so you have to lay that foundation before you can move on. And so with Vicky, we decided it would be best and most supportive for her and her future self if she did Manifest 10K twice. So you're going to get to hear about that journey and going through it twice and how much she's manifested and all these cool things that are happening to her. And then you're going to get to hear from Adam and Vanessa of Be the Wellness, BEE, thewellness.com. And their journey as a couple through coming into this work and coming together in their money stories and learning that it can be easier. They don't have to push against everything as entrepreneurs. They don't have to be going full steam ahead all the time, and how they can welcome more money in like that and really understand how they lay this amazing foundation to attract what they need next in their business. So, and of course, they're going to interview me as well, and you'll get to hear Vicky do that. And so I think that takes us through March or April. And then you're going to get to hear from Polly, who's also an amazing actor, and how her life shifted and she's stepping into this. She has this amazing play that she's in, and how that has helped her grow. And you're going to get to hear from, Kruthi, and some more. And these interviews are still, they've been done, but we're still interviewing them as you're listening to those other ones. And so, just want to give you a heads up on that and say I'm so excited about that, because you get to see the journey and you get to see what I talked about in the beginning of the show, how things start to unravel. And oftentimes people think that's not good, but you could hear it from my clients. And you get to hear it from someone else's experience that unraveling was the best thing that happened. That unraveling was the thing that I thought was everything going wrong, and it really was just setting me up for more success. So you're going to get to hear from all of that, and you get to hear from just so many different people. Again, actors, wellness coaches that are husband-wife team, people who are working their way out of their corporate job, people who have these amazing, you're going to get to hear from Mia, who is a winemaker and transitioning some of her business. And so you get to hear from people who, and again, all levels of money too, right? So some of my clients, they come in and they don't necessarily, there's plenty of money in the bank and everything is good, but they want it to be better. And they want to grow past that, and they want to know what's next for them. And there is people, and you'll hear their stories where there's moments where there's nothing in the bank, right? And we work through that, and we work that trust muscle together and get to a different space. And there's people who really good at attracting money, but then their money story, like they were really good at getting rid of it. They hot potatoed it, as I call survival. People in the survival story, they hot potato their money. And so you get to hear from them and how, they got really good at attracting even more, but then they had to handle their money story, and they had to really consciously dive more into changing that and change their habits and budget for attraction and do all these things. And so you're going to get to hear from all of them, and it's so amazing. It's so exciting. And you're going to get to hear from Kruthi as well. I mentioned her, and I just love her evolution in her story, because she's really learn to let go. So if you're a person who, and this was me, and like that long manifesting list, I got to do X, Y, Z, I got to do all this stuff, I got to like da 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 da. that's really her. And you're going to get to hear how she's expanded that and how she's let go and she's left space and all those things. And then, you'll get to hear from Lainey, who's building an amazing business and having amazing opportunities pop up. And you're going to hear from Annie, and who's so proud of is just attracting all of these amazing clients in a more traditional business, I guess I would call it. And you'll know why when you hear from her, but you're going to get to hear from all of them, and you're going to get to hear their journeys along the way. And I'm so blessed that I have clients that are willing to do that, because it changes things for you. And that's why most of them do it, is because they heard someone else and it told them they could do it. And they believed a little bit more in themselves because someone else had done it before, because someone else had had a problem and gotten through it and shared. So that is what's coming up on this show in 2019. As always, if you want 2019 to be the year you rock it out, and the Enchanted Circle has been calling to you, jump in. There's spots right now. Things are even better. That's the other thing I'm excited about, is that I've run the Enchanted Circle for a year. And so now I can go in and I can add even more support where I see that, ooh, this is where something else was needed. Ooh, I need to do it this way. Ooh, I can do it like this. Ooh, there's all this other, like I've added this whole future self training, which I didn't have before. Because for me, again, everything was, I just followed and it was intuitive, but I realized like, oh, I need to give more step by step to my people, because I can see when I see where they could go further faster, then I put something in to support them going further faster, to either teach them something that they didn't know, or to give them an exercise of a way to look at something, or a way, something to focus on, something to tabulate, something to see, something to calculate, right? That puts them more in their future self. And that's what I love about my work, is that it's not a random list of go do all these things to try and manifest your future self. Everything is tied back to your future self. Every single assignment might be the same assignment, but it's for you. It's specific to your future self. It's to bring her or him more into the light. It's to make you more of her or him. It's to just welcome all of that. So if the Enchanted Circle is calling, it's probably time to answer the call, because 2019 is going to rock. And if you want that support, that's what it's here for, right? It was so great. Our call yesterday, our calls are Mondays, and I've actually added 2 more calls to support everybody that's coming in, because we have lots more members, and so I see the need, and so we have a Wednesday call and we have a Thursday call, but our call yesterday was amazing and just so supportive. Everybody's sharing how one person sharing their stuff and asking their question just helps everyone else, and just the stories of supporting each other. And when someone's going through a hard time, other members will say, don't worry, I was in this same spot with Cassie. I got that same coaching, and here's where I am 3 months later. Here's where I am 6 months later. And it's just so fun, because there's the most fabulous people in there. So if it's calling, if you've been looking for your tribe, and one client in particular who's like, I found my tribe, then answer the call, because the tribe there is amazing. And there is nothing like growing with people who are growing too, with people who are supporting you, with people who are in the trenches of their own self-work every single day. Not just people that say they're doing it, because that's what I found a lot of when I was doing it. There's a lot of people that said they believed in this stuff and they did the process, and I get into a conversation with them and they weren't doing it. And I always wanted to be surrounded by people that were doing it, because it makes such a huge difference in who you become and how fast you become it. So you can go to my website, cassieparks.com, click on the Enchanted Circle. If you know you're ready, just hit that purple button at the top to go straight to the application. Or if you want to read all the details, go ahead and read through it. I will tell you that the new calls haven't been added to the sales page. So we now have a call Wednesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time and Thursday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And that's in addition to our Monday calls at 10 and 4 Mountain Standard Time. So I hope to see you in the circle in 2019. Have a fabulous year, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us on The More Money Show. To learn more about enrolling in the Enchanted Circle, go to cassieparks.com.